little weird, but it's possible. So you will need heavy whipping cream and salt. But if you want unsalted, then all you need is heavy whipping cream. So starting out, put on your whisk. Then just put it on the slowest speed. And then open it. Just let it flow. Now that we've gotten it all in, once you've gotten it all in, put it on its high speed. And then it'll go to heavy whipping cream and it'll turn into cream. So then you could make whipped cream or pretty much anything. So now a few minutes ago I said it had to enter the whipped cream stage. And just then poke it with a spoon or one of these. And just poke it, and look, that has the consistency of whipped cream. That's what you want. Now switch to one of these on your mixer. So have a paper towel waiting. Just set that down. Then pop this in. And I can tell you, it'll be a whole lot easier with this. You're not going to stop and have to wipe so many times. It's a whole lot easier to get off of it because this you're trying to poke it through and get it out. This you just, it's a whole lot easier. So now just go ahead and put it back on high speed and wait. Of course, that's a little. And of course, the whisk would have been very, very, very awful to clean it out of. And you can see, look inside of that. It's a bit yellow in those holes. I don't know if you can see that. But it's getting yellow in those holes and everything, and that's a good sign. But there's one thing that we want to go ahead and do. If you love butter, here's your chance. So, go ahead and let's find the salt, because butter lovers usually love salt in their butter, so we're going to want salt. Now, you're going to think I'm putting a whole lot in, but actually, I'm not putting much in it at all for this big batch because this is going to make a whole lot. So just get that in, maybe a little more. You're thinking that's overloaded with salt probably, but it's going to all mix in and dissolve, and it's going to make it taste wonderful. Not too much, not too less. My brother was saying I loaded it even more than this. The last time I did it, and Harrison said still, my brother Harrison said, even after I loaded it, he said, I think you need more salt next time, so you need to load it. But I'll see you when all of this is starting to go to the next stage and everything. So now we're starting to thicken up. And you can see again it's starting to hold itself together. So now you can see it's starting to go to the sides because it's holding itself together, and it's going to hold that way, and it's getting so yellow. Good sign. And that salt that we added made it even more yellow, so that's good. And then it's not going to taste like butter. You just want to taste it to see How much salt? Too good, too bad? It tastes like a whole lot of salt now, but it's gonna pay off when we make the butter stage. So I'll see you when we start going to butter and separating stage. So here we go. So now if you look down into the bottom, you can see it's a little liquidy. And that's not from all this, it's from separating. So that's all the fat and everything separating from your butter. So that's pretty much buttermilk separation. So now we're really close to the separation stage. And when that happens, once you try and get as much as you can out of it, I have never tried this, but you're gonna say, oh, this is a bread dough mixture. How is that gonna do anything? I think if it's gonna sit down at the bottom, it's pretty rough because it's made for thick stuff. Now, what happens if butter's thick and we use this? Never hurts to try, what can you lose? So we're gonna try that when we get to the butter stage. So see ya once we start separating real nicely. So now we're in the separation stage. If you look in, you see there's water down there. It's actually called buttermilk. And you do not want that. So you're probably going to think, oh, we're going to mix it in with that again. Not good. That's not going to happen. It's like a magnet repelling, so it's not going to mix. So we'll keep letting it separate, and then eventually we'll get all this done, and then we'll clean out and wash the butter and get it all nice and neat. So that'll be real nice. So let's just put that down in there and start mixing. So now what we need to do is hold the butter back and drain out the buttermilk. So I have my assistant grandma. So I just need her to hold all that back and get it all off the sides and hold it. So it'll keep it nice and keep it against it while we drain it all out. All right, now we got buttery, well, same consistency, well, almost butter. Let's put it that way. It's not butter, nowhere near it, but it's pretty much butter. You could eat it here, but it wouldn't be the same thing. It wouldn't be so great. But we gotta mix now. So now what we have to do is drain this again, and then now that it's pretty much butter, we still have to wash it. And that's why I wanted to try out this, because it's getting so thick and this is kind of just splattering it everywhere. So make a wall and then drain it again, and I'll see you after I drain it. You know how I said I wanted to try out the bread mixer piece? Well, we're gonna do that now. So let's see how it goes, and if it doesn't work out, we'll stop and tell you. Oh, that works a whole lot better. A whole lot better. You can see it's just, yeah, that's gonna be a whole lot better. So now we need to wash the butter. It sounds weird, but that's exactly what you have to do. You have to take ice cold water. I put ice in there and a strainer just to make sure it was ice cold. But you want to wash out the butter. And you just want to let it run on it. Oh, you're going to think, oh, it's going to run back in the butter and make it awful. It will not. It's going to get all that buttermilk out of there. You can see it's already turning because of all that buttermilk in there. Now we pretty much wash the butter as much as we're going to get. So now we're going to want to take this and just squish it all out of it because put it in the water again. You're going to think that's a little bad for it, but not bad for it at all. You're going to need a bowl for this, a pretty fairly big bowl to take it and just, I'm going to do this over here. Let me clear myself a space and pull this back here. Now we can take it and take this and try and get it out as much as you can here. I'll take it out of the mixer so we can do this a whole lot easier, but you don't want any of the water in it. You only want the butter. So that's why you take it, and here. I'm gonna have to use my hand, sadly, but yes, I will. Very yellow. From the beginning I was telling you it was yellow, and it's very, very buttery. So that's why we're trying to save as much as we can. And look at how much butter it made for that bottle. Like a butter churn would have done half of this. So now you want to take it and take a chunk of it. And then take one of these, flatten it, get as much as you're going to need, and then flatten it and squeeze all of it out. Squeeze all the moisture out. If you don't do this, it's just going to go rotten or it's just going to taste awful. So that's why you do this. Keep all the moisture out. So now we want to put all of this butter back in the mixer because it's a bit moistureful. If it's too squeezy and everything, put it back in the mixer and let all the water run out. But to clear your bowl so there's no water, if not it's going to be very runny butter. So then just let it kind of squeeze out. Just going to mush it. Now it's a whole lot better, but this you're just going to want to go ahead and say goodbye to. That was for when we were washing and getting it all out. Now we're going to want to beat this back up to make it thick and kind of get all that water out of it. And you may be thinking, I told you so, you shouldn't have put that water in, but you have to. If not, your butter's going to be awful. So that's why you do it. Right now I'm working on getting all the butter out of the bowl. And then, now what I have to do is just wash my hands. You have to use hot water to melt it. So now you have to take it and go ahead and get out the wax paper. How's that going to do you any good? It does you good. So get about fairly big size and just dump that on. And then you're going to want to take it and then how is that going to do you any good for rolling? So we need to roll it. Make it look good. you've gotten it all around on the edges, take it and bump the edges. And then just kind of shape that edge again. Bump this edge. But to kind of shape that out and make it look good. Again. And now that we've gotten it all nice and neat, so now we need to take the butter and kind of shape it again. Keep it nice and neat in a roll. And then put it on your clean piece of wax paper. And then roll that over it. And then it'll stick kind of like tape because the butter is so greasy. Then roll it up. Roll, roll. And then take the ends and hold on to them like this. And then just turn it with one end. Then turn, turn, turn. Now you've got your butter.